Los Angeles Gladiators have got a full head of steam.
What a strong start.
He just dashes on through players.
And Asher, all he has to do is clean up.
Billy!
The triple DPS as Shaz finds all the kills.
4 kills here starting to go in way of Philadelphia. Kills him again.
Poco gets 3. It's a self-destruct bonanza.
All right, welcome back from the break, everybody. It has been a bit of a rough day for Los Angeles. Both teams, they're 0-6 right now. They need to turn it around. And, well, going into the second half of these matches, we have 2 maps left in this series, and it's up to the Gladiators to turn it around here, Hex.
They got to find something, and it's really difficult. Philly's been such a scrappy team that teams weren't really expecting much out of. They had logistic issues getting in, trying to figure out what was going to go on with their team. But like their, other sports counterpart brothers from the city of brotherly love, they're always the underdog, and they always pull it out. Let's go Eagles.
Let's go. Yeah, just throw that in there.
Sorry, I had to.
We've got a sub that we have to talk about a little bit. It is going to be hydration, filling Surefour's shoes. If you're watching during the ad break, I mean, you saw some of the stats that Surefour was able to pump out there with the Reaper. I mean, he had an impact, and the desk were definitely talking about him.
This makes me believe that they're going to try to run their own Pharah Mercy versus Shadowburn's Pharah Mercy, if either team run it at all. Because if you were going to try to counter it with a McCree, you'd have to imagine that would be Surefour. If you're going to try to counter it with a Widowmaker, you'd have to imagine that would be Surefour. Now, Hydration is a very capable Pharah, but Shadowburn has dunked on very capable Pharahs before.
I mean, there's got to be some hope here. There's got to be something that we can say, where the Gladiators, right, they've got a chance to shine. I mean, they still have that backline in Big Goose and Shaz, who have definitely been making the impact plays.
Well, it's a map that you can see more Lucio on. Of course, the Pit of Death is where Lucio likes to put people into, and Big Goose is a top-tier Lucio. It's his best hero, I think, by a mile. Very good at it. He's a very capable Mercy, but I think if he had his druthers, he would be playing Lucio on every map.
This is going to be the question, though, because, I mean, we saw a little bit of Shaz, with that Mercy play towards the end there of Anubis, and it did look a little shaky at time to time, where he may have been, not quite as comfortable. He isn't quite getting as much time on the heroes. So do you think that that could hold them back if they do decide to go for the Lucio play?
I mean, it may. You could. There's this option, and I used to call it the European combo, because in Europe...
And now I'm curious.
Yeah,
they got the metric system over there? All right, so tell me.
In Europe, when Pharah became very popular, they still didn't want to run Mercy. This is before Mercy became very, very good. So they would run a Zenyatta with the Pharah, and she just constantly had the orb.
Right.
So it was like a European variant. Of course, you have to play a little more passive, but then you still have all the healing on the Pharah, and you still have all the DPS from the Discord on the ground as well. Now, it's kind of come out of style, but that is an option if they need to try something, because you're already down 2-0.
Yeah, now is really when you need to start pulling rabbits out of the hat by the dozen. You need to find something that's going to work here versus Philadelphia, because it really has been, this dominant performance coming in from Carpe and Shadowburn. Neither of those DPS are sleeping right now. In fact, they just keep coming up with the plays. And, well, we are going to have Shadowburn on the Pharah, and we'll see if he's, if he's got his basketball shoes on, if he's going to get ready to dunk.
Yeah, it's going to be a mirror match. Both teams running identical compositions here. No Zenyatas on the field in this matchup between all-world Zenyatas, and this is where it really matters. You got to go air to air. Those shots really only matter if they're consecutive. Hitting your 1 and 3 doesn't matter. You got to hit 1, 2, and really finish off those kills.
I mean, Shadowburn right now, target priority isn't too shabby. Look at that. He contributes to Poco picking up the kill from iRemix. Knows exactly when to start ignoring the Pharah, to start putting some more damage into the main unit. And so they come out ahead here, Philadelphia Fusion, at least at the beginning.
And that's all it takes, is knowing when to pull off of the air battle, when to pull out of the dogfight and start raining death from above there. And that's exactly what he did. He had 2 directs onto the Winston below and let the rest of his team clean that up. So enough pressure put on, and just superior positioning. You don't really want to be up against this lighthouse here, because you could accidentally take splash damage as your Pharah in Mercy.
Sometimes you see him hanging around there, but you're right. There's a bit of a risk involved. And Neptuno pumping some damage in. Asher, though, will win the duel versus Carpe. So a strong start here for the Gladiators. They already have 3 to 4 on the point, and Shadowburn looking to connect with one more rocket. He would love to, but Asher, in the meantime, is just doing work, and this is getting a bit out of control here for Philadelphia. It looks like the Gladiators are going to be able to pick up the point.
A parting gift from Shadowburn onto Hydration will force out the single resurrection from Shaz. So that could come into play during this next fight, but really that was all about the ground war. We're gonna have the camera on the dogfight in the sky, a la Top Gun, but a lot of what happens is gonna go on the ground, and Asher just said, fine, I'll do it myself. Won that fight nearly single-handed.
Shadowburn with the stall out there.
Just do all aviation terms.
Yeah,
We have a goose on the field.
Exactly, it's all meant to be. We just need to see Far Mercy from these guys every time, so we can just keep making Top Gun references. This is great. If you guys haven't seen Top Gun, you need to go see it. All right, getting into the action though. It is Asher. You can see him just dashing around, and he does manage to pick up the 1 kill on Neptuno. And so the pressure ratchets up here on Philadelphia Fusion. More time gonna burn off of this clock as they are about to even things up here. Gladiators on that point control.
Got a nice little assist back to the pack. Got knocked back there actually by the Winstons. A little helping hand there. The Gladiators have banked every single one of their ultimates, and meanwhile they are in control of this point. Those tank ultimates should be the first to come out as they know they have advantage on them. Just gonna barrier first and try to take the fight to him. The aggressive nature of the Gladiators is paying off here on Ilios.
Yeah, Asher, he's just staying alive forever. He is a constant threat, and he is just doing the damage even though Big Goose gets the kill. Still, though, they are going to be able to pop out the Valkyries now and get those resurrections underway. Bishu plays that picture perfect, snucks Shadow Burn, and so far things are looking pretty good here for the LA home team.
Permission to barrage, sir. Negative Ghost Rider. The pattern is full. He shuts him down completely. Gladiators still in control on Ilios, which makes sense. You know, it's kind of a Romanesque, Greek-inspired area. Gladiators.
I mean, it all fits. Again,
It all fits. We're
like
transitioning from Top Gun to Gladiator, just so
Fate.
everyone at home can follow along.
as fate would have it. Exactly. Oh no, hydration though. That's another rocket he just ate. This isn't looking pretty for him. He will get the heals though. Just in the nick of time, Shaz is there to back up his teammate. Asher looking for the pulse bomb, gonna whip it completely, but hey, as an afterthought, why don't you just go ahead and pick up the enemy team Tracer while you're at it too. Asher right now, this is his map.
Control is always good for Tracers, and Asher, after having a little bit of rough games on the previous 2 maps, is making Ilios his home playground. They have had no good answer for him. He's fighting in such an intelligent way. He's never eating rockets. He's never out in the open. In fact, he's everywhere at once. Neptuno's gone again.
He is constantly keeping the pressure up on the back line here. The supports are struggling when you've got Asher who is constantly hunting them down. And there we have it, a strong start here for the LA Gladiators. First point goes to them. So now we have to see, can they close it out in 2? But if Asher keeps up this level, anything is possible.
Shadowburn was nearly a non-factor after that. Couldn't find the right angles. Asher was everywhere at once. He needed to be the target priority, but I mean, as a Pharah, it's like trying to, you know, hit a gnat with a slingshot. You just don't know where that Tracer is going to be, and he was everywhere. That Asher actually took over that map, and Hydration did enough. You know, I think a lot of this comes down to communication when you're running a Pharah with anything on the ground. Pharah Genji can be a good combo, Pharah Tracer can be a good combo, because hitting 1 rocket at the highest level is not going to be enough. You need to instantly call for follow-up damage, and Asher was always there for follow-up.
Yeah, Asher, the key here is not only is he listening to his team comms, but he's staying alive. And so he has the opportunity to get in there and pick up those frags and really lock it down for his team. And so right now, it's a bit of the skirmish here at the beginning, just trying to feel it out. Who's gonna slip up first? And well, Carpe is getting a bit dicey there for him for a second, but he does get picked up by his teammate fairly quickly.
The first fights are so important because you want your air combo to have control of the points rather than trying to take it back. It is such a huge advantage in these mirror matchups.
Rockets point blank though, and Big Goose is gonna have to back off. It's getting a bit too hot to handle. He will get the, no, he doesn't get the boom! There's a second there you thought it was possible, but it wasn't meant to be, but it doesn't matter because Los Angeles Gladiators are picking up all the kills, and another strong start for them. This time it's Hydration, who will just rocket Carpe into oblivion.
What I find so impressive about Asher's play, and there's a million things I could mention, is his ability to take down Neptuno in single clips. Lucio is a brutal target for a Tracer because he's regenning. He's got peel for himself. He's on walls. No one else is on walls. He changes the angle all the time. And Asher has been owning Neptuno.
Yeah, sick aim from Asher. The game sense is on point, and really when his team needed it most, because they're hanging on by a thread here, Gladiators. You can see at the top of the screen, Philadelphia in the lead 2-0.
It's a great switch though. Carpe goes to McCree, the hardest counter to Tracer possible. Asher now out of the mix.
So Hydration, he has taken some damage, but there we go, barrage point blank. Poco will not be able to cancel it out fully, and they do lose 1 in that exchange, but Shaz is there to get the resurrect, at least on Hydration. So the fun continues, the party and the rockets, all of it. Bishu will go ahead and drop the ults just to clear out the point and buy a little more time here.
Asher's back to life, and he is back into the fray. He sticks, Carpe takes down Neptuno, and that is the Gladiators maintaining point control.
It's the shutout. Bishu, he can go flying as well. He's got the boosters to get him back on hardland. But right now, Shadowburn, they've just been evicted. They're like, get out. You're not welcome on this turf.
Just trying to rack up those frequent flyer miles, apparently. I think they're going to try to go out to that cruise ship out there.
I mean, look at the weather, man. Who wouldn't want to be on a cruise ship when it's that sunny in Greece? Come on, you can't top that.
It's a gorgeous day. They still should try to prioritize the point, maybe afterwards take that cruise. Neptuno down early. There goes Carpe, who's supposed to be the answer to both hydration and Asher on the ground, and it's just too overwhelming right now. There's been no great answer here.
Shaz,
Philadelphia.
That is one of the resurrects used up, however. So they do pick hydration back up again, but that might put a little bit of pressure here on Shaz going into the next fight. They are running out of time, though, Philadelphia. They need to get somebody on that point and tap it, and there we go. Sure enough. Now it's on Gladiators to contest, and the pulse bomb going through. The pressure getting poured on. Transcendence has been forced out already, and Asher, if he is good with the timing, he could definitely put his ult to use, but I guess he's deciding to back off and save it because the rest of his team have just completely been wiped out.
So he's been single clipping Neptuno on Lucio all day, then gets presented a back turn to him. Zenyatta, which is Neptuno, gets there, unable to get the single clip, which needs to be mostly headshots there, so he's able to react with the Transcendence. Had that gone a little bit differently, then they probably close out this map. As it stands, Philadelphia is finally taking control of the point here.
Yeah, they've still got a long way to go, though. Just barely inching past or up to the 25% mark. That is a long-range rocket. No way. I thought for a second one. Oh, he does it again!
Style points indeed. Not going to get the kill, but enough to keep him at a distance.
Let's go. Get out, iRemix. Not today. And he can't get rezzed either. Shadowburn reigns supreme in the sky for now, at least. But Asher, in the meantime, doing quite a bit of damage here. Point blank, Shadowburn there to help out his teammates, keep him alive. But right above him, again, hydration, and Shadowburn just can't seem to miss right now. Really turning it on here for his team when they needed him most.
It is so much more difficult to hit that shot from below than it is above. Shadowburn's mid-airs have been amazing throughout the Overwatch League so far. And we're only 2 weeks in.
Plenty of opportunity here to see him shine. And well, again, Big Goose, no answer. No answer to the rockets, just flying in hydration. You can see he was just getting back, and Shadowburn continues to get so close with these rockets. Right now, I mean, this is getting a little dicey here. This is where you start to get a little worried if you're Gladiators. You're running out of room to maneuver.
You can just see how hard it is to take it back once you've lost control of the point. The map simply tilts into that direction, and it's so hard to reinitialize going into an established Pharah and Mercy. They're going to have all the angles covered as far as the ground war goes, so you're taking so much damage just trying to get in.
All right, well, they do look like they've managed to find some room to work with. Point blank, Shadowburn gets them grouped up. 1, 2, misses the third, but he is putting the pressure on now, and they are starting to, well, Gladiators are starting to make some progress. Big Goose at least will find Neptuno. That seems like a strong start, but it's going back and forth, and it's still a bit too early to tell. Shadowburn is holding on to the barrage as well, and he's gonna get barraged on immediately by hydration, but this doesn't matter, it's not enough.
This is why a lot of Pharahs will not barrage when the other Pharah is around. You become a sitting duck, and it's very difficult to even finish another Pharah with your barrage unless you have the perfect angle on it. He punishes hydration for his hubris there, and there's Neptuno coming to life. He knocks Bishu off of the edge. Philadelphia trying to force a third stage on Ilias, and I think they've done it somewhere.
Yeah, they do manage it in the end. iRemix, he was immortal. It looked like he just refused to die, but eventually they pick up the kill, and Philadelphia now 1 point away from winning this series. And so right now, I mean, it's all on the Gladiators. Hydration has got to be kicking himself, not able to get more out of that air duel.
You live by the Asher and you die by the Asher. They won first stage of Ilios because they had to get control of it, and Asher double bombed. And that's what got them control back of the map, and they never relinquished it. They probably should have been able to close out that last stage just if he one clips that Zenyatta he was behind. If that Transcendence doesn't come off, they probably close out that stage. So you take the good with the bad. It's been mostly good, but I talked earlier in our previous set about outliers on control maps. Those last 2 stages play very similar. Pharah and Mercy. Ruins is different. This is Widow's playground.
Yeah, this is her territory, her turf. But we did see a bit of a sketchy performance on Widow from Asher earlier. We're going to see if he gets a little bit more comfortable here because he's got one hell of a target that he has to try and hunt down. It's going to be Carpe on the Widow for Philadelphia Fusion. And Carpe, well, this time around, Asher is on point. He wins that fight. Oh, never mind! That's unreal! Carpe is like a magician just appearing out of nowhere.
The disrespect to fling yourself into the air at another Widow, knowing you're hitting your shot and you don't care because you don't think they're going to hit theirs. Absolutely unreal. However, for all that glitz and glamour, the rest of his team is dead.
You know, Carpe is getting the style points, but the others right now, you know, they need to figure something out because
There are style points and there are control points, and only one of them happens to matter in Overwatch League.
boom. Yeah, Asher's got to be feeling good about that he can count on his team to pull him through there. And so they do continue to climb on the percentage here for the Gladiators. Now it's all on Philadelphia Fusion. Shadowburn has picked up his pulse bomb though, so we'll see when he decides to get into the fight with that one. Asher will have the infrared, although as I say that, Carpe again wins the duel versus Asher, but Hydration is there to drop Shadowburn. That's a big kill.
Hydration, known for his excellent Roadhog play as well. So many of the players in the Overwatch League can flex onto this hero and make a huge impact. Meanwhile, while this is going on, Poco did get a self-destruct and took down the opposing Mercy. So the window of opportunity might be open. Can he fly off of the edge? Roasted back on. He's still up in it. He's still alive.
What is this fight? This is obscene. This is unreal. It never ends. Hydration gets the snipe on Neptuno, and yet he gets taken out by Frag in the end. That forces the Transcendence out of Boombox, desperate to keep his teammates alive. And now Asher is there to win the fight versus Carpe. Los Angeles, they're picking up steam.
The value out of the Valkyrie is the big difference there, as Neptuno went down early, unable to resurrect. Big Goose still had his going, and it is not only resurrection, which we talk about hand in hand with Valkyrie, it is the spread healing, it is the ultimate mobility of the Mercy. It is the most powerful ult in all of Overwatch right now.
Don't forget the damage boost.
There is a
The
damage
chain
boost
damage
option,
boost.
yeah.
That
What I
is
want to see,
unreal.
I really want to see this, a Transcend and then a damage boost Valkyrie over top. It's like the ultimate weapon.
That-
Yet to really see it.
That's the wombo combo. That's the killing machine at its finest. But let's see what they have in store for us here, because we're into overtime now. Gladiators need 1% more to keep their hopes alive in this fight. Carpe again wins the duel versus Asher, and Poco takes down iRemix. This is getting a bit out of control, although Hydration will make the difference, doing the damage and getting the kills to try and keep his team in this fight. And so far, they have quite a few targets still alive on this point, Gladiators. It's looking like they've got the edge. This is forcing the desperation play coming in, and it's not going to be good enough. Carpe tries to stay alive. It's not going to happen, but that did buy enough time for Fraggy to get in here, and by a couple seconds, still not enough. And the Gladiators have arrived. They have broken the streak. It took LA 6 maps today, but on the 7th, Gladiators said enough.
Are you not entertained?
Indeed, I am. Indeed, I am. What a fantastic battle here on Control, which means that we go into hybrid as the last map, air quotes, because it is still possible to go to a 5th and final map. If Gladiators win the next one, we will go the distance tonight in the last match of the day. But this has been fantastic. We had back and forth. That's what I love about this one as well, is that Carpe, Asher, it really does seem like a tit-for-tat kind of fight going on between the two of them right now.
Everyone on the Gladiators contributed. They're going to have to continue to do so.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Omen by HP.